In this training video segment, we're going to explore a Corecon feature found under the contract admin module called Allowance Packages. An allowance package can be created for each particular scope of work in a prime contract that is not specified in enough detail, but already includes contract item amounts and internal cost budgets. Under these scenarios, the client or architect would eventually specify items to purchase and install or provided options by the contractor. In the latter scenario, the TeamLink portal is also used by the client to make selections on these options. An example would be kitchen appliances. At the time a builder or contractor is preparing a bid or proposal, you may not know what the project owner, client, or customer is going to select. You might quote a builder grade appliance package, and later, when the owner has time to select the package themselves, make an adjustment for the difference. It's important to know that options for allowance items must be created in Corecon, not in the TeamLink portal. The project owner, customer, or client referenced on the prime contract can select the allowance item options in the TeamLink portal. An architect can be referenced on the prime contract and can review the allowance packages in the TeamLink portal, but they will be read-only. Owners cannot create their own selection option, but this information can be relayed through the built-in messaging functionality within the allowance packages in the TeamLink portal. Once all selections have been finalized by the owner, a change order can be created which will include the baseline and selected options. The sum would be the difference between the baseline and the selected. There's a couple things to remember to complete before you enter your allowance packages. First of all, the project owner or customer that will be reviewing the allowance package must be listed in the project directory. If you're going to include the architect, you would also want to include the architect in the project directory. Make sure you assign the security role for the TeamLink portal. Remember to send out the TeamLink invitations. Next, the prime contract has to be created and marked approved with a status date. The project owner or customer referenced on the prime contract will be the one making the selections on allowance package item options. Job cost codes must also be established since this is a required reference on allowance items. Optionally, tax codes should also be referenced on allowance items. There are two ways to create allowance packages. The first method is to create these manually. To do that, with the project selected and a contract already set up and approved, go to the allowance packages, over to actions, and select add manually. We're going to create a new allowance package for the staircase. We're leaving the subject generic because we are going to offer several options. Select a reviewer. The prime contractor company would be your company and your contact. We want to add some follow-up dates. So we're sending this out today and we're going to need an answer back by the following Monday. And we want the required completion date to be the 20th of this month. We'll leave the actual completion date blank for the time being. We'll click next. First, we're going to add the options. Next, we're going to add options. We originally quoted $3,750 for a classic stair package. We're now giving them the options for a craftsman staircase package and an industrial staircase package. Notice that because the installation, supply, delivery, and so forth would already include markup, I've included the sell rate and cost match for each option. I'm going to click Add and Next. Now I want to add some files. I'm going to drag and drop the Classic, the Craftsman, and the Industrial Staircase illustration, and click Add and Finish. I could add or import additional items from a variety of locations. If I go to Actions, I want to send the allowance package to the project owner and possibly add the architect. A second way to add a new allowance package is from an existing Corecon estimate. For this example, we're going to be quoting the information for the wood flooring throughout. To do this, we'll go to the Allowance Packages, over to Actions, and we're going to add from Estimate. Since this project only has one estimate and one prime contract, both of those will be filled in. Instead of creating an allowance package per cost code, I'm just going to uncheck that and click Finish. When I did that, Corecon created one allowance package, including all items that were marked as allowance in the estimate. I'll open that allowance package. If you scroll down, you'll see every item that's marked as an allowance was imported. Let's go back to the allowance list again, go to Actions, and let's add from estimate again. This time we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to create allowance package per cost code and click Finish. Now you see the allowance package was added for the wood flooring. We'll open that one and now start adding some options. We want to give it a follow-up date, required completion date, click Save and Close. Next, we'll open the item. We'll note the quantity and the unit price. From the allowance package item details page, with the basic allowance item entered, we want to scroll down to the selection options, go to Add Import Items, and either add these items from the work items, which is the cost database in Corecon, or add manually. Just going to add the description, the manufacturer, the catalog number, UPC, product URL, and so on. Since we use this item as the budget, we'll enter that rate here and select the resource. The second option, and a third option. And click Save and Close. Once the project owner, customer, or client has chose one of the options or selections, they can enter that through the TeamLink portal if they have access, or you can also choose that for them by adding it from the selected option field. And click Save and Close. If you'd like to know more about this information, we encourage you to go to the help articles, to leads and projects, to contract administration. Under contract changes, go to allowance packages. This help article includes the information covered in this training video, as well as additional information you might find helpful.